Oh yeah, greetings and salutations YouTube, the World Wide Web, ladies and germs. As you guys can see, shows the most Paul Plant 2 back at you with a brand new plant video, and today I'm starting a wildflower meadow right here in my backyard on this barren piece of desolate dirt encrusted land. Now there used to be a swimming pool here that the previous homeowners filled in, and they overfilled it because there was a big lump in the soil in my backyard, and it looked terrible. So over the winter I leveled it out, but now I'm just left with a dirt patch that's pretty useless. So instead of having it sit as is, instead of putting normal sod, which doesn't really have too many environmentally friendly aspects to it, I'm gonna throw in some wildflower seeds that I got on Amazon, and yeah, hopefully grow a meadow that can benefit the environment, the insects and birds, all types of species in my eyes as well. So I might throw in some ground covers, some bonus footage. We'll see what today beholdeth. But without further ado, join me on the first steps of starting a native meadow. Let's get it. Like this video too, and remember, Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
All right, my guys. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get some dirt in this wheelbarrow, and this pile of dirt behind me is everything that I did dig up. Now I like mixing the wildflower seeds in this sand dirt mixture, so when I toss it on the ground, I can see what I'm actually doing. So we shoveled up. Let's get it. And I know I look like a Chad, but it is what it is, bro. I need to get rid of that farmer's tan by any means necessary, okay? So I was blessed with my dirt makeup. It was primarily sand, which I used to backfill the pool with, which is a perfect medium to mix some seeds in. So if you don't have spare dirt laying around like my cheap ass, use some sand. And all right, my guys, so we have the wheelbarrow loaded up, and now it's time to throw in the seeds. So I got a Texas Oklahoma wildflower mix. Hopefully that's in focus. If not, I do apologize. And then I have a Texas wildflower mix as well. This dude is a collection of 22 annuals and perennials. So I'm just gonna bust these open, pour them in the wheelbarrow, mix up the sand, and then salt bay these baddies around the yard. And probably in 30 to 60 days, I'll have some things popping true. So this is just the beginning, but I will do a full update and probably create a whole video from beginning to end with this process once it is complete. But for now, let's get started. All right, so it's pretty self-explanatory when getting started. You just throw the seeds in the dirt and mix it thoroughly. Obviously, for a seed to germinate, it needs a growth medium, and that is why I mixed it in the dirt. Furthermore, when I started throwing the seeds on my dirt patch, it also showed me where I was distributing them. So the seeds and the dirt in the wheelbarrow were a lighter color than the dirt on the ground, so I could see all of my action and work taking place and the progress of my seed distribution. Now, I've seen people on YouTube buy expensive seed tossers, throwers. You don't need that. You just need your damn hands. So 55,000 seeds were laid on the ground, and to ensure that they were buried adequately, I got this dog kennel tray and started stomping them into the earth. The instructions on the seed packet said they needed to barely be buried, so this was a perfect technique to use. Obviously, you guys can use cardboard or any piece of plywood that may be laying around, but this tray was extremely effective in burying the seeds to the right depth. Boom. So there it is, guys. We have all the seeds laid down and stomped in the earth. Now, if you guys were to do this yourself, you obviously need to water it in a little bit afterwards, but it's gonna rain tomorrow and the next day. So I think I'm covered in that regard. Now, next up, we have this entire area of my property underneath this huge oak tree that definitely is going to need something planted underneath it, and that's where I have the ultimate ground cover. This is called frog fruit, okay? It's a Texas native, you guys know. Houston, Texas is where I reside, and this dude pops off with flowers, and it grows the same as Asiatic jasmine, aside from vining up things. And it's native, it's beautiful, and it can grow in the sun and hopefully in the shade as well, darling. So I think this will be a perfect piece to implement in the garden and just to cover this area, because grass has a very hard time surviving underneath this tree. So let's get all three of these dudes in, let time run its course, and hopefully they'll fill in this entire area. Let's get it. So I thought I was making a genius move by lazily using my dog's holes as a planting reservoir for Philonodiflora or frog fruit. Now, frog fruit is native to the United States of America. It is an amazing ground cover that attracts butterflies, and it grows natively all the way from Oregon to Pennsylvania and in every single state south of those. So I planted not one, not two, but three of them, and my boy Ranger really liked it as a pillow, and he definitely made himself at home on my newly planted frog fruit. This guy. All right, guys, 2 months and 2 days have elapsed since I finished throwing down the seeds. That was March 29th. It is currently May 31st, and a ton of things have sprouted up and taken off, and there's a lot more green, even though it still looks like there's a lot of brown. We're gonna get down and dirty. I'm gonna show you guys what is going on in the backyard meadow 2 months into planting. Let's go. All right, guys, so first and foremost, man, I want to start at the back edge of where my food forest beds end and where the meadow begins. We have some Mexican marigolds popping up right here, and these are absolutely beautiful. They're kind of beat up, but if you just look at the leaf structure and the pure size, this dude is like 2.5 feet tall. That's roughly 1 foot per month that's taken this dude to pop up. It's gotten wind battered, rain battered, but you have a ton of buds that are cracking that have already popped up. Now this dude is huge. We don't have one, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. You have yet a 7th right here, and then you have an 8th, which already does have a flower on it that looks spectacular. Let me show you guys that right now. And this one definitely has a different type of flower on it. Beautiful orange color scheme, and that is what I am talking about, man. So we already have some flowers. These dudes were some of the quickest to grow, get huge, and they have been awesome to actually see them bloom out. I mean, you have the 9th and 10th one. So I have 10 giant marigolds that I just threw the random seeds in the ground and that have arisen. Now, if you guys think that is cool, one of the first plants that ever popped up was actually this tick seed. Now, this is Butamus. It's a Coreopsis, and as you guys can see, it definitely has exploded, budded, and is about to drop some seed, but it still is just percolating. I have not deadheaded it whatsoever, but it's still blossoming and looking amazing. Now, another species that cracked off is the blanket flower. Just check out this stunner right here. And these two are native to the plains of the United States of America. Obviously, I live in Houston, Texas, which is a coastal plain, so that is straight up awesome. Now, I don't know why it's the case in my backyard, but it seems like everything that has cracked off has been a yellowing flower variety. As you guys can see, we have a plains Coreopsis in hand right now, and this dude has a very cool like burgundy-ish maroon center with some nice little yellow outskirts on the petals, and we have multiple of those cracking off as well, and they add a nice flush of color to the landscape. And every time I look outside the door, I just see these guys standing upright and absolutely cracking off. And this is what I'm saying, this is a lot more interesting than just having some normal ass grass in the backyard. You heard me? And then you have a black-eyed Susan that has came up as well, and that dude is an absolute beauty. You have more plains Coreopsis, and you even have a red salvia that is in the ground and has sprung up. Now, my dogs like running in the backyard. They like chasing squirrels, and they knocked over this huge sunflower that also has cracked off in the last 2 months. So I might add some dirt around the edges of him, watch him crack back open and get erect. And then you have yet another sunflower in this dirt patch. So when I'm saying things are cracking off, I mean every day I come out here and there's a new bloom, such as another Zinnia. Oh wait, I haven't even showed you guys the first Zinnia. This is actually the showstopper in the garden, and every time I walk outside I can't help but stare. This is the absolute jaw dropper of the garden. This Butamus orange Zinnia. My guy. native to the Americas, from South America to Mexico to North America. You have this absolute beauty. And when I saw it from inside the kitchen, I had to skirt off, run out here and check it out. I took multiple pictures of when these petals first started emerging, and this dude hands down is the cleanest and most action-packed flower that has busted out. I mean, just look at the little yellow on the inside, orange on the outside. It is nice and erect, which you guys know I love. And I am so happy that this dude did emerge. Now, another pleasant surprise actually happened in the wintertime / fall. A lot of people are throwing out their pumpkins from Halloween and from Thanksgiving, and I scooped them up and I got all the seeds and I threw them in my yard. And what happened? Dude, pumpkin patches. You got Ranger just sniffing out the pumpkins. These dudes bust off with butamus star-shaped yellow flowers every morning. They do close up in the afternoon, but this one plant goes all the way back there. That's where it originally emerged from. And it's so cool to know that I can just throw seeds and literally get a pumpkin patch. And what's even better is these big leaves cover up a lot of the raw, like, dirt area. They do cool the dirt down, make it more hospitable for other seeds to germinate, which is another beneficial aspect of that. And you don't have one of these plants. I threw hundreds of seeds. So you have 2, 3, 4, 5 right over there, 6, 7, 8, 9, and at least 10. So yeah, I have at least 10 pumpkin plants growing in my backyard, which is so cool. Now, on this patch of dirt right here, it is pretty desolate, pretty boring, and that's because I had to scalp a lot of the topsoil off when I was leveling my backyard. Again, it was overfilled when there was a pool. But with that being said, there's a ton of small little doodads that are starting to emerge because it has been raining lately. So the ground is just covered by a bunch of small native species, and unfortunately some undesirables have hopped in the mix. So there was a bunch of buffalo grass that was originally here, so that's growing back in, which is fine. I think some Bermuda grass has also grown, which really isn't that cool, and some poison ivy, which is native, is beneficial, but not to us or my pups over here, okay? And one other plant that did emerge is highly poisonous. It is this black eastern nightshade plant right here. Now, if humans eat it, it is toxic, but it's not gonna fatally drop you or kill you. It is beneficial to bees, and birds can eat the seeds and evidently be a-okay and perfectly fine. But if it is a native species, I'm pretty much going to leave it. I have not seen my dogs mess with it whatsoever. Have you messed with it, bro? No, you haven't. Not at all. Not at all. So that's why I've just left this dude right here. Dude, he just licked my entire face. And it's really cool looking. So that's why I left it. And speaking of Ranger, one other thing that did happen, which I'm not too happy about, is when I put in those frog fruit plants, he dug them all up. And not only that, he tore them up. So there's no more frog fruit in this entire area. But for now, I'm gonna throw in 2 more frog fruit just so I can get something happening in this blank area. But this just goes to show, man, what a little wildflower mix can do in only 2 months of planting and growth. So I went ahead and I threw in the second frog fruit, which have really cool flowers I want to show you guys. And then, of course, Ranger just laid all over the first frog fruit that I planted. So this is unfortunate, man. The frog fruit's in the ground, and based off his behavior, it may be slated for the same fate as the previous ones I planted, because he's just laying directly on it. Like, not to the side, directly on it. But with that being said, I'm gonna give it one more try in the back. If it doesn't work, I guess I'm gonna have to keep the frog fruit to the front yard. But overall, man, I'm very happy with the transformation of starting my own wildflower meadow. It is absolutely crazy to see how much progress has been made. It might not look like a lot to you guys because this is an extra wide angle lens, and obviously it's not as zoomed in, but when I step outside and I see 2 to 3 feet plants that are just percolating, look at this fool. Foxy, what are you looking at? When I see all these plants just popped up where there previously was nothing, it's really cool. Like, legit, there's not too many things that you can see the progress on in life as much as throwing some seeds in the ground and watching them take off. And that's why I'm doing it. So I will do another update in a couple of months, and hopefully by the end of the summer, there will no longer be any dirt. I'm sure there will be some, but it will be very sparse. Hopefully few dirt patches will be far in between one another. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please smash the like button. It really does help me out exponentially, expeditiously. Hit that thing quickly, effectively, and thoroughly, because yeah, this takes time. It is a new channel, and I'd appreciate if people would see what I'm trying to do, and hopefully other people who are interested in starting native gardens and transforming their wasted lawn space into something better and more beneficial for the environment, for species other than our own. That is ultimately what the mission is in this shit. But yeah, man, until next time, remember, Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
I'll catch y'all very soon. I'm locked, I'm loaded, and I'm out. Peace.
Killing these songs, leaving a bloody life I roost to. And I'm in it to win it, so I'm somebody that you should get used to.